Hey, Mitch from Sydney, Nova Scotia says, remember those beautiful Grapevine shows I did? Boy, they were great shows. I had a lot of fun on them. You know, everybody sees me how great I am on television now. I have to tell you, back then, my very first show, I was so scared, Ralph Mallenby, the producer, had to come over and hold my hand. I couldn't say, here's Gordie Howe. So I still couldn't. He actually held my hand, still couldn't do it. So he come up with the idea, and I thought it was a great idea. He got a great big picture of Blue, and you know who Blue is. And he said, just look into Blue's eyes and tell her what's coming up. And that's what I had. Tonight on the Grapevine Show, we have that great hockey player, Gordie Howe, coming right up. And that's the way I did it. I'll tell you, folks, I had so much fun then. And you know what happened? I have to tell you, it's a sad story. The breakup party, I went back to get it and thank Blue and everything. Somebody had stolen the picture. I tell you, folks, I'm glad I didn't catch the guy because I'd be still in jail today. Anyhow, you know who I'm starting off with, the greatest hockey player who ever lived, Bobby Orr.
Grapes is talking to old Blue. There's lots of heroes from the sports world, too. So when you want to have a good time, come on down to the Grapevine. Come on down to the Grapevine.
Now tell us about that overtime goal that everybody talks about and I talk about. We're running on our opening, and tell us about that overtime goal against St. Louis. What happened there?
Oh, I don't remember that well, Don, but
You want me to tell it?
The puck was coming up the boards, and I stayed in at the blue line to knock it back into the corner, and I really was lucky. If it had gone by me, it probably would have been a 2-0 on our goal, but I put it back in the corner to Derek Sanderson, and I went to the front of the net, and I'd like to tell you that after receiving a great pass from Derek, I would like to tell you that I turned the puck up on its edge and looked between his legs and just laid it between them. What really happened was I went to the front of the net, and as I was moving across, Glenn Hall was the goalie, and he had to move with me. And as he moved across, I let the puck go. I did not, and his legs opened as he moved across, and it went between his legs. But I did not pick a spot. I just put it on the net.
Sure looked like you picked a spot.
Oh, thank you.
So never mind that. I want to get to the 72 series right off the bat. What was the mood in the training camp and before the first game?
Before the first game, in the mood was, we were told by scouts, who at the time were the Toronto Maple Leaf scouts, and that team had ended up in last place, and we found out why. They told us that they couldn't play very well, and what's his name, Trechak, couldn't stop a balloon. But what they forgot to tell us was the day they scouted him was the night after his wedding.
Oh. Well, that does take something out of your legs.
It could, yeah. I mean, and we ended up watching these guys practice and saying, wow, these guys can skate, these guys can motor, these guys can do everything properly. And we have to get ourselves in shape. And a lot of the press and everything else said, yeah, the Canadians were doing their training in the bar, over ice cubes and stuff like that. I'm not saying that we didn't have fun, because we did, because we were told that it was going to be a cakewalk. Yeah. But after that shock of losing the first game, and then actually losing the thing in Canada.
Getting up 2-0 too at the time.
Yeah, well, we run out of gas. Yeah. We just run out of gas. We went to training camp August 14th. I remember that because it's my daughter's birthday, and I remember that day, had to leave. And we trained for 2.5, 3 weeks, I think it was, before we started against these guys. And actually, the training camps were tough because Ferguson was a tough disciplinarian, and I thought it was okay. But when we went to Russia, though, we were a team, Don.
With their turban. All right, here we are again. Jeez, I'm good looking, aren't I? I mean, what are you going to do with these two guys? All right, fighting in the game. First of all, I know you like it.
Well, you want to win.
Yeah. You haven't lost any yet, have you?
Close.
Close?
Yeah.
Ties?
Yeah,
you never say you lose. They're always ties.
You can't say you lose.
So what do you think of it, fighting in the game? They want to get it out. What's going on here?
I think it's right to have it. I agree with having it.
Oh, that's why you're on the show. Go ahead, Kirk.
I guess just
you throw them. I got pictures of you throwing them.
Well, yeah, I show up.
That's the main thing, though.
No, it's, I don't know. I think the way the game is right now with You know, as long as you can keep the stick work out, I think, you know, and that's the only way I know right now is to keep the fighting in. But that's where it's more dangerous, no doubt, and it's been proven is you get the guys going around and keeping the sticks up and using them. That's when all the cuts get going and the injuries.
Dougie Gilmour, in the 3 series that he was in, had 38 stitches.
Now, tell us about that 10-point night. I'll never forget it.
Well, first of all, thanks for leaving Dave Reese in there. I mean,
Yeah. I'll tell you about that later, why I did. You want me to tell you first?
no.
Okay. Well,
That
tell
was
us
one of
about
those nights where I couldn't do anything wrong. I mean, there are other games I really believed I played as well or better, but every time I passed it to Lanny or Borja or Tiger or...
Went off feet?
Tiger. Yeah,
Remember a couple went off
the
park?
last one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
Park-
behind the net. I was trying to center the puck out to Errol Thompson in the slot, hit Brad Park's legs. Dave Reese had his open again, and
You got that clip, you know, Blue. She always has it. And just to prove that we're not, you know, we're not prejudiced or anything, we're going to show it right now. Go ahead, Blue. Roll that there massacre. Okay, now we're doing pretty good there. There's Park. Go ahead, talk about it.
there's Lanny, and Lanny can score from anywhere. There his famous wrist shot, he pulls into his body and lets it go, and over 500 goes. Whoops.
Cross-check one of my
Got
guys.
hit
Nice.
there. Now here's Turnbull, and he can shoot the puck as hard as anybody.
Whoa.
Reese couldn't have stopped that one.
No, I guess not.
And Borja saw me, great player. I bat this one right out of the air. That's when it started. I picked it out of the air. Yeah, I didn't show that.
Didn't show the one that went off Park's foot.
Oh, well.
All right, now I'm going to tell you what happened there. Cheevers had just come back from the WHA. This was his first game dressed. Never figured this was going to happen. But Davey Reese in, good guy. Just couldn't stop pucks, that's all. And put him in. So after it was about 7, I looked down at Cheevers. You know, I looked down at him like that. He put a towel over his head like that for the rest of the game. That was it. We never saw him again. But I couldn't throw him in there because he hadn't played in about a month and a half from the WHA and that. And the next night, didn't matter. The next night we went and shut out Detroit. And
Dave Reese never played another game after that.
no,
did he?
that was the end. Tell a story. Go ahead. Some of these people haven't heard what happened.
Well, I think everybody's heard it. Grapes have said it so many times.
Do it again.
Well, when he got back to Boston, they called him in the next morning to send him down to the minors. Harry Sinden, your buddy.
Yeah.
And I guess he was so down and dejected from the game the night before and getting sent to the minors, he went out the subway lines there, jumped in front of a train, but it went through his legs, so he's still around today. Just like the puck.
Remember Red Berenson now? You remember the Red Baron?
Oh, yeah. I gone through my whole junior career, first couple years of pro without a serious injury. My wife presented me with a child the night before, a premature child, weighed 6 pounds, very tough night. I never went to bed all night. And the first shift down the ice, Red Berenson was a great American League player. He comes down in grapes. And I wasn't sharp that night. And usually when a player come down on grapes, I felt I had to be sharp to bail us out. And anyway, he danced around grapes like I expected and let a routine shot go, and I missed it. And that was the first time I got seriously injured. I lost all my teeth and 40 stitches. And I want to thank you, or else I would have
Oh,
been
that's good.
I would never been a complete hockey player.
Crow made you go back, did he? Joe Crozier?
I got stitched up and finished the game.
Yeah, stitched up, knocked all.
You got benched.
I got benched. Well, what else is new?
I'm always asked, ask Daddy, what is All-Star game? If you ever get him on, now what's your All-Star? Start just the six guys.
Well, no, it isn't so difficult. I'm going to have duplication in a few positions, if
All
you
right.
don't mind.
All right.
Terry Sawchuk would be my
Okay.
goaltender.
Yeah. Beauty.
Doug Harvey and Orr.
Oh.
Well, no question there. On left wing, Bobby Hull.
Yeah. Kill you with that shot.
And I'm going to have duplication at center. Gretzky and Beliveau. Now, don't call me a homer. Beliveau was a great,
I like Beliveau. He's a good guy.
And I cannot pick Gordie Howe and leave Rocket Richard off, and I cannot pick Rocket Richard and leave Gordie Howe off, so I pick both of them.
Right.
Imagine the great, I leave off a guy like Bossy. So you know how difficult it
Yeah.
is. But you asked me.
All right, that's good. Now, the Rockets got to be the most exciting hockey player.
No question about it. I was singularly lucky to get the job in Montreal, to be in the right place at the right time, but to come when the Rocket was in his heyday. And you had to be a pretty dumb broadcaster not to make the game sound exciting when he was there. you know, he knew one thing, and he knew it well, and he had dedication and love that many hockey players today could copy. Go down and put that puck in the net, and that backhand from the wrong wing. And you know what? His ability to come through in the clutch. Look at the record books. He's got 6 overtime goals in the playoffs.
Real pleasure. Welcome. Real pleasure to see you.
I know you've always wanted to be on TV with him, but go ahead.
I'm sure a lot of the fans would like to know this as well. How you got the number 9?
Holy geez, that's a long time ago. That was when I started playing with Montreal Canadiens. Not in my first year, the second year. My wife was pregnant. Is that the way you say it?
Having a baby.
Having a baby.
I was going to have a baby.
Yeah.
And I was out playing an exhibition game in Cornwall. And after the game, I got a phone call that my wife had the baby girl, 9 pounds. And before that, Dick Irvin asked me if you got a baby, just let me know how much he weighs and everything. So he says, your baby weighs 9 pounds, so I'll give you the number 9, because number 9 was Charlie Sender, was used to play with Canadian, but he left a few days before. He didn't stay for training camp.
Isn't that great?
And that's how I got my number 9.
You know, okay, Dick. Every great hockey player after that, right, Dick, wanted 9, and Gretzky wanted 99.
All right, now, we're going to talk about one that everybody tells me. When I'm walking along the street in Montreal, they come up to me and say, Don, there's a game I remember. Now, see, let me guess. It's 1979, right? Now, tell us what went through your mind. It's 1 minute and 15 seconds to go. So tell us what happened.
1 minute 15 left in the third period. We're getting beat 3-2, and we're out of it.
Curtains for you guys.
Everybody said we're losing it, and we better start to pack. And suddenly, whoops, Jonathan jumped on the ice, and you got cut too many guys.
There he is again.
Thank you, John.
Yeah. But tell us how the play started now. You picked it up in your own end, right?
Yeah, I gave it to Lemaire, and Lemaire went inside the blue line. About maybe...
Looked offside to me, too.
No, he wasn't. About 25 feet inside, drop it back, and Gilbert was in the net.
Yeah, he'd played great up until then.
He's so sweet. Anyhow, tell me when Blue became a hockey fan. In your mind, when could you sense that she knew what was going on? Well, when she saw Stan Jonathan give it to Bouchard, she says, that's my type of game. And she loved it. I know a lot of people don't like that. But how Blue got into it was one night, Harry never liked this either, that somebody asked me, who are you going to play tomorrow night? And I said, well, I talked it over with Blue. I'm going to play Cheevers. And I thought it was a pretty good joke, but Harry never appreciated it, and I don't know why. I talked it over, so the next night I said Gilbert, and it went from there, and now she's a living legend. She might even get on Bobby Orr's Hockey Legends. Well, Noon Land can, so anybody can.
You're talking to Old Blue. There's lots of heroes from the sports world, too. So when you want to have a good time,